please welcome to the stage, here to show us how to live a life well spoken while cultivating connections within your sphere of influence. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Keith Bailey.
The crowd goes wild. Do you have a rice cooker?
Yeah.
Depending on how well you know me, will determine how you react to that question. If you don't know me at all, you might think that I want to sell you a rice cooker. But if you know me well enough, you probably just respond with yeah or no, to which I would respond with, oh, you do? Awesome, I've got an incredible recipe for this saffron rice that you're just going to absolutely love. And the reason for these two different reactions and responses really comes down to a thing that we call relationship equity. Relationship equity is something that you have that is of greater value than money, because we all know that we do business with the people that we know, like, and trust. The higher the level of relationship equity, the higher the levels of knowing, liking, and trusting within the relationship. And we need to be in a constant state of actively investing in relationship equity, which is what we're going to be working on today. And I know that all of you are incredible business professionals and that you've built relationships and you've invested in these relationships and you get a lot of value out of them. Through our experience today, I'm also going to lean on you. I'm going to ask you your feedback, some of the things that you do to build those relationships, because I don't have all the answers. I just have a really fun, playful way that you can invest in relationship equity with each other and with the people that you meet and the people that you influence. Does that sound like a good time for everybody? A little active participation today, not just sitting around and listening to me drone on for the next 6 hours, even though we only have 3. So let's jump into it. One of my favorite ways is through story dialogue. The original ChatGPT. Good, plain, talking. A little bit of back and forth, a little bit of sharing ideas with each other. Conversations. Conversations to get things going oftentimes feels, like you're learning how to drive a stick shift car, right? It's a little bit of jerky motion before the thing really slips into gear and you're able to get going. Asking ChatGPT, I asked ChatGPT, what is the most common ways that Americans start conversations? Any guesses as to what they are, some of the most popular ones, how we start conversations? What do you do? How are you?
Introduction of your name.
Introduction of your name.
Where are you from?
What's up? Yes. ChatGPT came back with, how are you doing? What's up? What's new? Hi, how are you? Those are the top 5. And how do we respond to most of those? If I say, how you doing? Good. Good. Yeah, good, fine, great. Those aren't conversations. There's zero investment in relationship equity when we answer that way. It is up to us to make the initial effort to get that conversation going. And one of my personal favorite ways to do that is through a personally I statement. So ask me, how you doing?
How are you doing?
Personally, I had a chance to have a flashback of childhood memories this weekend. A really great friend of mine, this guy, invited me to come and watch his son play soccer. And standing on the sidelines, I was completely awash with all the times that I went out and I played soccer. It was just a wonderful memory. What happened in that statement when I went with the personally I? What did you hear?
A more in-depth version of how you're doing.
A little more in-depth version of how you're doing. What I ended up doing with that one is I incorporated a thing called conversational threading. And in conversational threading, what we do intentionally is we offer some additional bits and pieces of information that allow the listener to be able to grab onto that and engage in the conversation. Because from this, you know that I had a personal memory that I played soccer as a kid, that I was out this weekend doing activity with a good friend of mine. You could grab onto any one of those things and take the conversation just a little bit further, as opposed to just answering with good, or I went out this weekend, which really doesn't offer any kind of depth. There's no threads that you can pull on. So in your answer, when somebody asks you the question, how you doing, is to start off with that personally I statement. Because one thing it'll do is it'll kind of throw them for a loop a little bit, like, wait, where are we going with this whole thing? Which is a distraction, and then you lean into that personally I statement. And the great places we can use this is in our offices. We can do it in hallways, in breakout rooms. Perhaps when we get into a virtual Zoom call, we can step into this with this personally I, because we've all experienced it, that we get on that Zoom call and it's just kind of boring. No one's saying anything. We're all just waiting for the meeting to start. And the meeting really starts the moment that we enter into that room. So with that, I want to jump into our first activity that we have together, which is the personally I activity. You're going to have a chance to try all of these things on. It's not just concept, it's practical application as well. So for this, if you the handbooks that you have, they're there for you to write in. And they also have the course of instructions. So basically what we're going to do is we have all the tables set up. So we're just going to keep it to the tables for right now. And in this is you're going to take turns asking each other questions. You can do the entire table, or you can turn to the person sitting next to you. I leave it up to you. And you're going to ask that question. Somebody's going to ask the other person, how you doing? To which you're going to respond with a personally I statement. And then it's okay to lean in with a little bit of curiosity. Like, that's a really interesting thing. Tell me a little bit more about that, about your daughter getting into her first car accident at the tender age of 16 when she just got her driver's license. Because there's so many questions that we have, like what exactly happened? So lean in with curiosity. If you're in the remote audience and you're there by yourself, by all means, take a moment and think about how it is that you could answer this question. Perhaps go ahead and even write some of those ideas out. And know that my personally I statement changes on a regular basis. During the Olympics, I was answering with a personally I statement that had something to do with the Olympics, because we were all watching the Olympics. So it's something that is of the current time, is always a nice personally I to share. Any questions? Any concerns? Any lack of clarity? All right, fantastic. We're going to put 10 minutes on the clock. So I really want you guys to get to know each other, because you're going to be playing with each other quite a bit over the next 3 hours. Does that sound good to everyone? Thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up. Yes, yes, yes. All right, fantastic. Let's dive into a game of personally I. Ready? And action.